So today I'm going to share with you 6 things that I think you should be thinking about during tax season that I think will help you with your practice and make it a healthier part of year. My name is Jean-Guy Talbot. What we discuss on this channel are ways to improve your practice, increase your profitability, and regaining control of your own practice and having a better work-life balance. So the 6 things I want to talk about are 6 things that I think we should always have on top of mind throughout tax season. So the first thing, in my mind, that is probably even the most important thing that you should always have top of mind is your energy level. So if you ever get to a point where you're saying, oh, this is too much, I can't do this anymore, I hate what I'm doing, then you've gone too far. You gotta really monitor your energy level. And for me, tax season, believe it or not, has always been something that I enjoyed. I always found it fun. But there were times where I would look at my day-to-day and find, okay, this is not fun as I would like it to be. So whenever you get to those points where it's not quite as much fun as it should or could be, I think that's a good time to kind of take a step back and really examine your life and what's happening and ask yourself, what needs to change for this to be fun again? But you gotta really monitor that energy level. So I look at my energy level a little bit like a gas gauge on your vehicle. Sometimes it's full and sometimes it's running on empty. But you want to catch it before it runs on empty. I much prefer to be traveling with a really full tank than one that's getting closer to empty. So keep a close eye on your energy level and do whatever is required to add fuel to your tank. The other thing that I recommend that you get the habit of doing during tax season is take notes. So during tax season, I always had a paper on my desk where I would take notes of the good and the bad, the beefs and bouquets, call it whatever you want. But I would take note of all the things that went really, really well, the changes that I made that really was a positive change, or even things we've done for years and suddenly realize, wow, we've been doing it this way for this many years, and that really works. Take note of those things. But also take note of all the frustrations, the things that aren't going well, things that you need to find solution, the things that drain your tank, and so on and so forth. And you may not have a solution, but at least mark it down. Number 3 is related to number 2. Ask everyone on your team to also have this list going. Everyone on my team, by the way, do the same thing. Have a list at your desk of the good and the bad. And then after tax season, we had what we call the beef and bouquet day, where everybody put on the table the thing that they liked and disliked. And then following us creating this fairly long list of things that worked and didn't work, then we went through the process of discussing possible solutions for all the things that did not go so well. And I think the best time to talk about the solutions is while it's still fresh in our minds. So sometimes there are things that were problematic, people will provide a solution, and other people will say, well, no, that won't work, and here's why. But let's keep discussing it until we have at least a potential solution for all of the beefs that we have on our list. But I think it's important to track those things. Otherwise, next tax season will roll around, and I remember at first that's what I would do. I wouldn't keep track of that. And then tax season, what starts is, here we go again, we're having the same problems as we did last year, and we never made any attempt to fix it last year. Well, let's not go through that again. So again, have a list of the good and the bad as the season's proceeding. Because trust me, come May 5th, most of those things will have been forgotten. So don't rely on your memory to remember the good and the bad that happens on a day-to-day basis during tax season. Number 4, prioritize. There's no better way to refine that skill of yours of prioritizing what really needs to get done. Because tax season will throw more work your way than you ever thought possible. So you've got to learn to prioritize your workload and really decide what needs to get done versus what can possibly wait till after tax season. The things that can be done today that can possibly even wait till tomorrow. And prioritize as well as the things that only you can do versus delegating it to somebody else. So these are all things. Priority is kind of really reorganizing everything you've got on your plate and making sure you're attacking the things that are important today, that needs to be attacked today versus tomorrow. So learn to develop that priority skill. Number 5, another skill that's a really good time to develop is the delegating skill. So after you've prioritized and you've kind of determined what you can and cannot handle for today, take a look at if there's anybody else on your team that you could delegate work to. So again, like I've said in other videos, learn to delegate as much as you can to other people. And you're possibly going to find that that's also going to help with keeping your energy up. And finally, number 6 is to bill. Bill like crazy. You should not be seeing any write-downs during tax season, or very few. So if there's any better time to refine that skill of really charging what you're worth, there's no better time during tax season. When the work is coming in probably faster than you can almost push it out, and usually the fear of charging will be diminished, because there's nothing like being in a mindset where, oh my God, I've got so much work on my plate. And to be almost at a point where you kind of say, if you want to go elsewhere, I really don't care, because I've got more than enough right now. And I found that my confidence in my ability to increase fees always went way up during tax season. So don't miss up on that opportunity, because increasing fees is a bit of a mindset. You have to have your mind in a certain place to have the confidence to do it. And I always found that my confidence in discussing fees really went up during tax season, because usually at that point I'm saying, I don't give a go elsewhere, I don't care. So don't be afraid of really challenging yourself to charge what you should be charging. So I hope all these strategies, those 6 things, is something that will help you in having a more successful and happier tax season.